This is Kechi. She is 29 years old and runs a small catering business from her home in Benin City. For 5 years, she worked from a single gas burner and a second-hand freezer. Most of her clients were weddings, birthday parties, and church events. She never missed a deadline. Her mother used to say, "Kechi, your hands are blessed." Her father died when she was 14, and she took over cooking for the family. That's where the love for it started. Then in March, she got a call that changed everything. A hotel chain wanted a vendor for their weekend buffet. The contract was for 1 year. 18 million naira if she kept the standard. It was more money than she had seen in 5 years combined. She told her younger sister, Chidinma, first. They grew up sharing one room in Ekboma. One mattress, one fan, one small window. Chidinma was 26, quieter, always watching. Chidinma clapped, hugged her, and said she was proud. "Sis, you deserve this," she said. For 2 days, Kechi barely slept. She wrote menus, costed ingredients, and called suppliers. She felt close to something she had worked for since she was 20. But Chidinma started acting strange. She stopped answering calls quickly. She made comments like, "Are you sure you can handle that? And what if the hotel fails you?" At night, Chidinma lay awake. Every post on Instagram showed Kechi moving forward. Chidinma was still working as a receptionist. Stuck on night shifts she hated. What Kechi didn't know was that Chidinma had met someone at a club 2 weeks earlier. His name was Emeka. He ran a logistics company that failed 2 years ago. He was in debt. He heard about the hotel contract and saw a way out. Emeka was smooth. He bought drinks, listened, and made people feel seen. Chidinma hadn't felt seen in years. One evening, Chidinma and Emeka met at a bar in GRA. She told him how much the contract was worth. She said Kechi was getting too big too fast. Emeka leaned back and said, "I know people who can slow her down for 200,000 naira. Chidinma said no. She said it out loud. But she went home and didn't sleep. She kept thinking about her rent arrears, about the way her manager spoke to her, about how Kechi never had to beg for anything. Her co-workers teased her. "Your sister is blowing up, oh. When are we eating free jollof?" Chidinma smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Week 2, Kechi signed the contract. She paid for a down payment on a delivery van. It was an old Toyota Hiace, but it ran. She hired 2 cooks and rented a small space near the market. For the first time, her business had a name on the door, Kechi's Kitchen. She printed uniforms for her staff. She bought new pots. She felt like she was finally stepping out of survival mode. Chidinma came to visit. She brought puff-puff and acted normal. She asked about suppliers, about the hotel manager, about the payment schedule. Kechi told her everything. She had no reason not to trust her sister. "Don't tell anyone yet," Kechi said. "I don't want bad eye." Chidinma nodded. "Of course not." At 1:47 a.m., she opened her banking app and sent 100,000 naira to Emeka. "Do something," she typed. "Just make her miss the first delivery." 3 days before the first buffet, Kechi's van broke down on the highway. The engine seized. She was stranded for 4 hours in the sun. Her main supplier called to say his cold room was raided by NAFDAC. Her second cook quit without notice. The hotel manager called, calm but firm. Out the food isn't here by Saturday 8 a.m. We terminate. Kechi spent the night on the phone. She cried in the kitchen at 3 a.m. alone. She thought it was bad luck. She didn't think of Chidinma. She thought of the loan she took for the van and the staff she had to pay. Her landlord owned a small shop next door. He had CCTV facing the street. He liked Kechi because she always paid rent early. He called her and said, come and see something. On the screen, Kechi saw Chidinma talking to two men outside the kitchen gate at 11 p.m. She saw one man pour something into the van's fuel tank. She saw the same men loading her crates into a waiting bus. It was 48 hours before the delivery. Kechi didn't scream. She drove to Chidinma's apartment. She showed her the video on her phone. Chidinma didn't deny it. She sat on the floor and said, you always get the break. You make me look like I am going nowhere. Kechi walked out. No insults. No fight. Just quiet. She drove back to the kitchen and called everyone she knew. Her cousin in Auchi had a small truck. A supplier in Sapele agreed to deliver on credit. She borrowed money from a church member she hadn't spoken to in a year. She and her team worked for 36 hours straight. They recooked 200 plates. They drove through the night to meet the deadline. They arrived at the hotel at 7:52 a.m. The manager tasted the food, nodded, and said, we'll continue. For the next 2 months, Kechi ran the contract clean. No more missed deliveries. She hired a driver and installed a tracker on the van. She stopped telling Chidinma about her plans. She focused on the work. She started saving again. She opened a separate account just for business. She told herself, never again will I mix family and money. The hotel renewed the contract for 6 more months. The payments started coming in on time. Kechi paid back the loan. She bought a second freezer. She moved the kitchen to a bigger space in Sapele Road. Chidinma watched from a distance. She liked Kechi's post, but never commented. She told her co-workers that Kechi had changed, that she was too busy now, that she was proud, but pride was mixed with bitterness. Every time Kechi posted, Chidinma felt smaller. What Kechi didn't know was that Emeka was still angry. He had lost money when the first plan failed. He told Chidinma, if she won't fall, we make her fall harder. Chidinma said nothing. She didn't block his number.